All right, buckle up because today we're diving into the world of cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
but not the kind you'd expect. Forget the moon memes and the Lambos. We're going beyond the hype. We're going to explore how cryptocurrency wealth is spilling over into the real world.
Yeah, that's right. You got it. We're talking about like tangible effects, things like how people spend their money, where they choose to live, even the ripple effects on the housing market as a whole. And the really fascinating part is we're going beyond surveys and speculation. This research uses actual transaction data to paint a picture of who crypto investors are and how their decisions are shaping the world around us.
Okay, so let's unpack this. When you hear the words crypto investor, what comes to mind? Like a mysterious tech wizard in a hoodie hunched over lines of code.
It's a common image, but the reality is a bit different. This research found that crypto investors are more likely to already be active in the stock market. They're not necessarily abandoning traditional investments. They're adding another layer to their portfolio, treating crypto like an intriguing piece of a larger puzzle.
So they're not complete newbies throwing darts at a digital board. That makes sense. But this research also found that they tend to have higher incomes than non-crypto investors. So does that mean we're talking about those lavish crypto yacht parties after all?
Not quite. While it's true that there's a correlation between crypto investing and higher incomes, it's important to remember that correlation doesn't equal causation. And when it comes to spending habits, the research actually found surprisingly similar patterns between those who invest in crypto and those who don't.
Really? So no diamond-encrusted everything?
Not exactly. There's a slight uptick in discretionary spending by crypto investors. Think entertainment, travel, restaurants. But we're talking about a difference of just a few percentage points in their overall budget. They might be treating themselves a little more, but it's not a radical departure from how they were already spending their money.
So it seems like they're being pretty level-headed about their crypto gains, at least for now. So far, we've learned that crypto investors aren't necessarily who we might expect, and their spending habits are surprisingly relatable. But here's the million-dollar question, or should I say, like the $16,500 question. What happens when those crypto gains become real money?
Yeah, you're right on the money with that $16,500 figure, because that's the average amount of money people withdrew from their crypto wallets in this study. We're not talking about a quick trip to the coffee shop here.
Yeah.
This is serious cash.
Okay, $16,500 suddenly hitting your bank account. What are people spending it on?
That's what this research dug into, and it gets fascinating. Remember those similar spending patterns we talked about? Yeah, well, they hold true even with these larger withdrawals. There's a slight uptick in purchases of things like cars and furniture. But the most intriguing change is in housing.
Housing, you mean?
You got it. The research found that after a large crypto withdrawal, people were significantly more likely to buy a home. And it wasn't just a small bump in home ownership either. We're talking about a noticeable increase in the number of people making that leap into the real estate market.
So it's like those crypto gains are finding a very real, very brick-and-mortar home. And I bet this has some interesting implications for the housing market as a whole. So we've gone from these mysterious crypto investors to realizing they're a lot like us when it comes to spending habits. But then we see these big crypto withdrawals fueling home purchases. It makes you wonder, is this actually impacting the housing market as a whole?
Yeah, and that's exactly what this research explored next. And it gets even more interesting when you consider the geographic concentration of crypto wealth. Think of it like this. Certain cities and areas tend to be, like crypto hotspots, with a higher concentration of crypto investors.
Okay, so we've got these crypto hotspots with lots of people potentially cashing out and buying houses. But how can we be sure it's the crypto wealth driving up housing prices in those areas? Couldn't it just be a coincidence, like maybe those areas are booming for other reasons?
That's a great question. And the researchers were able to address it because of a fascinating natural experiment that occurred back in 2017, the Bitcoin price surge. Remember that?
How could I forget? It felt like everyone and their grandma was suddenly talking about Bitcoin.
Exactly. So researchers looked at house prices in areas with a high concentration of crypto wealth compared to areas with lower crypto wealth before the 2017 surge. Those areas with lower crypto wealth acted as a sort of control group, helping to isolate the impact of crypto wealth on the housing market.
Okay, so it's like comparing two groups of cities, one with lots of crypto wealth and one with less, and then seeing how their housing markets reacted to the Bitcoin boom. What did they find?
The results were pretty clear. After the 2017 surge, house prices in areas with high concentrations of crypto wealth were significantly higher compared to areas with less crypto wealth. And we're not just talking about a small difference. The research found a difference of thousands of dollars. It really highlights how those individual decisions to put crypto gains into real estate can have a collective impact on housing markets.
Wow. So even if you're not into cryptocurrency, even if you've never bought a single Bitcoin, you might be feeling the effects in your local housing market. It really makes you think about the unexpected ways this digital revolution is shaping the world around us.
It does. And it raises some interesting questions for the future. For example, if cryptocurrency becomes more mainstream, will we see even greater impacts on things like housing affordability? It's something to keep an eye on.
Definitely something to ponder.
Right.
Well, there you have it, a deep dive into the surprising and tangible ways that cryptocurrency is spilling over into the real world, from individual spending habits to the very roof over our heads. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.